Hey guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a book review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Suicide Forest by Jeremy Bates. It's classified as an adult horror novel that has a non-fiction element just because it is about a real forest in Japan, and this forest is known for people going there to commit suicide, and 100 to 200 bodies a year are recovered from there. We follow the story of a bunch of people who go into the forest to camp out and kind of just discover the whole thing and their experience inside the forest. It does have triggers for suicide and rape, so if you're affected by those things, just be aware that they are in this book and pretty relevant. I want to see if I can name all the people off the top of my head, but we follow Ethan, who is our protagonist. We also follow Mel, who is his girlfriend. We follow Tomo, we follow Neil. Also in the group is John Scott. Their names, the two tourists, and they all go together. And basically the original group of people, like minus the tourists, are planning on climbing Mount Fuji, but when weather gets in the way, they have to camp out somewhere. And they meet these two tourists, a guy and a girl who are dating, and they say that they are going to go and camp out in the forest and see everything for themselves, and they're just gonna go and discover it, so they decide to go with them and camp out. They soon realize this is not a good idea, and everything else happens. Characters are, I remember Ethan was between 25 and 30 years old, if I remember correctly, so they are some older characters, so they're not teens, so just putting that out there. Well, it is adult. This also is, this book, since it's adult, there's a lot of swearing, there's F-bombs dropping on like every page. It was an entertaining read. It kept me reading to find out who was gonna live, who wasn't gonna live. And I found Jeremy Bates' writing style to be just kind of average or a little below average in my personal opinion. I did think it was really creepy, and it was a suspenseful kind of book. Ethan, and I also really liked Tomo, he was hilarious. I was actually laughing out loud from some of his comments. I did think this book was a little bit on the slower side. I think it could have been sped up more. And if you're wondering about the brutality and everything, because this is considered horror, and obviously Suicide Forest, you expect to find bodies. There was only about 3 bodies found, but they're not specific, so it's not like you're gonna get those gruesome details or whatever, so it's not terrifying, but it is suspenseful, if you know what I mean. I did think this was just an okay book for me. I loved the concept, the characters were decent, well, they were okay. The writing style was again okay, but I just found some things to be kind of iffy, like some decisions that they would make, like, oh yeah, we finally know which way to go. We're supposed to go this way, but there's smoke behind us, so we're gonna go this way anyways to see what it is, even though we have a way out. Like, what you doing? Go get out of there. And just things. And I also kind of wanted more of a paranormal explanation, and I wanted more paranormal elements, and I also wanted to just see like more bodies discovered and like more things happening to move the plot along. But we didn't really have much of that. I would have liked if we followed Ethan, which I liked following his perspective, but I also wish that sometimes Ethan would go off and talk about his brother, and I liked that. But then sometimes he would talk about him meeting Mal and like all this stuff, but I liked it, but sometimes it was just too often, and I was like, can we just stick to the forest please and like not go off? And I also didn't like Nina was one of the tourist names. Nina and Ben were their names, and I didn't like Nina like at all, and she was kind of like seductive in a way, and she was like, oh, I'm dating this guy, but still I'm gonna go approach the other guys, I'm gonna kiss one of the other guys, which is not a huge spoiler, and it's just like, what are you doing? And just some things, especially Mel, she overreacted so often. I was like, relax, and just some decisions were just not right. It was entertaining, and I just thought they had interesting characters in this story. I am glad I read this and that I learned more about the forest, and I had a little bit more background on Japan. Not too much, but just enough was fine. If I gave Suicide Forest 2.5 out of 5 stars, again, I'm still glad I read it, but it didn't blow me away, but I did enjoy my time reading it for the most part. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you've read Suicide Forest, let me know your thoughts, or if you've heard of the forest in general. I know there was a movie called The Forest or Into the Forest, something like that, a little while ago, and it is not based on the book. It's based on the same forest but not the same characters. And yeah, so I'll see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.